You'll have to pardon me today. I've got a little bit of a cold.
Yeah, you sound a little stuffy.
Yeah, yeah. All the kids are sick, and seems like as soon as my daughter got into school, it she brings home all the sicknesses.
It's always school, man.
Yep, all the germs, but building that immunity, so I'll take it.
Yeah, look at it on the bright side.
Yeah. We're going to do a little mini episode today on our Thursday mini episodes. Try to give you guys some updates and whatnot. So, welcome back to the Suffer Up podcast with Nate and Ryan. Nate and Ryan just recently ran a race called the Leftover 4 Mile. And so, we're going to give you a quick synopsis of that race. It was a super fun race for us. And we did quite well. We kind of surprised ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it was a small field of runners, but I'm not going to
No.
discredit us. We did good, man.
Yeah, I was super excited with how we performed on that one. Regardless of the placement, even the times.
Yeah, that's true.
The times were really, really good on this one. But
Anytime you outdo your own expectations, I think that's pretty good.
yeah, that's a win.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
definitely a win. The placement was just a bonus.
Yeah, and what also made it a bonus on that one was my dad did it with us.
That's a huge bonus.
Yeah, so my parents came into town, and I talked to my dad. I said, "Hey, do you want to run a 5K with us?" And he's like, "Sure." Well, then when I actually looked at the race, because it was all super last minute sign up, and I said, "Actually, Dad, it's 4 miles." He's like, okay, cool. We'll still do it." So the Leftover 4 Mile in Pensacola, it's a fun race in that they use all the leftover bib numbers from previous races throughout the year.
Bibs, shirts, medals, everything is left over.
Everything is left over. They even give out leftover awards.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a fun, super relaxed race. But we decided that we were going to do this race together. The weather was very questionable.
Well, yeah. So the whole reason we wanted to do this race together was because our last one got canceled from the weather.
True.
The Fiesta 10K we were supposed to run.
Yep.
Got canceled due to thunder and lightning, which, whatever. Bunch of losers.
Yeah. Yeah, so we signed up for the race, and I was like, I'll sign up for the race. So I did, and then Ryan called me immediately after and said, I don't know if you looked at the weather, but it's supposed to be like really stormy. I'm like,
oh,
you're
rain like 2
kidding
inches.
me. You're absolutely kidding me. We just got through this Fiesta 10K getting canceled, and here we are now. I signed up for a race without checking the weather again. But when I went to Running Wild in Pensacola, Florida to go get the packet pickup, I asked the ladies, I said, "So what's the cancellation policy if the weather's bad?" And they started saying like, well, we'll notify you via email. Yeah. I said, okay. And then immediately after that, the guy behind the counter was like, no, don't tell them that. We're running rain or shine. We will run. And I was like, all right, I like to hear it.
He said it'd have to be a hurricane to cancel.
Yeah. So I was like, heck yeah, I'm all about this. So yeah, so we signed up for it. Everything was good to go, and it rained all night long.
All night.
And the next morning when we got up, it was still raining, like torrential downpour on the way there.
Race started at 8. I think there was a water spout on the beach that actually hit the building like next to the starting line.
Yep.
At 6 a.m.
Yeah, it was wild. And then as soon as like 8 o'clock came around for the start, the sun came out and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I think I rolled up at like 7:30 and the rain was just drizzling and sun was coming out.
Yeah, it was quite a nice weather.
Like, you guys can run in the sunshine today.
Yeah.
Bless you with no rain.
But with the Florida sun and all that rain, it was like a nice steamy morning.
It was hot and humid.
It was.
I was not prepared for that.
Yeah, me neither. So, but we set off on the race, and I got off, they let the faster runners go up front. I'm like, I'll go up front this time. Let's see what we can do here. Gun went off, and I thought I was ahead of Ryan there for a little bit, but then when it came around the stretch down the Pensacola Beach main drag there, I looked ahead and I could see Ryan way up there, so I kind of picked up the pace, caught up to him, and the race was off, and there was quite a few hot runners that kind of went off right at the start, and I was like, wow, this is going to be a pretty fast race. Well, when I caught up to Ryan, I was like, what's up, man? What's up? And this was Ryan's first race back from his little injury that he had. And we went off at about a 6-minute pace.
Yeah, like 6:15, something like that.
And
I didn't intend on going out that fast. From my perspective, I started off like right there with you. I was like just directly behind you. And we started and everybody kind of pushed your way like to the right, and just it was a big crowd. And I'm like, this is dumb. I don't want to be in this group here. I hate running in a group like that to get started. And I saw a little opening on my left side, and I just shot after it. I just kind of sprinted out
Yeah.
and jumped in front of the crowd and was able to get ahead of the mess instead of caught up in it. And I got out there with the guy who ended up being first, the front runner dude, who was running way faster than I wanted to run.
Oh, yeah.
I think he ran like a 5:30 pace.
Yeah, 5:30. He was trucking
the whole time.
Yeah.
So good on him. But I just hung with him for maybe a quarter mile just to get away from everybody else.
Yeah.
That's when you saw me, I guess.
Yeah. So we kind of were shoulder to shoulder for about really kind of the whole race until we made the turn. Is out and back race.
Yeah, I think around the 3 mile mark, you kind of started to pull ahead a little bit. There was another guy that we were running with.
Yeah.
Not with, but there was another runner out there who was just in front of us for this whole time.
Yeah.
So there was the front guy, this guy in front of us who Nate so kindly nicknamed.
Yeah. We like the second mile we were running together, and this guy's maybe 50 yards ahead of us.
Yeah, maybe.
And I said, we're going to catch fairy britches, because he had these neon running shorts on. And I like to name the people I'm going to try to race against. So,
so fairy britches was out there in front of us.
Yeah.
And then it was Nate and I. So we were running in the third and fourth spot.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole race until the very end.
Yeah. So we made the turn onto the main drag again, coming back at about mile 3.25 maybe.
Yeah.
And I broke to try to get past him, and I realized I broke just a touch early. So I broke, and then he's obviously increasing his pace because he wants second.
Old Fairy Britch is trying to get second place.
Yep. So him and I were kind of like back and forth, and what was interesting was,
and I'm just watching it happen, because around like the 3 mile mark, I kind of drifted back, and you and Fairy Britch just took off a little bit. Not took off, but y'all got probably 100, maybe even 200 yards in front of me.
Yeah.
At the worst point.
Yeah. So we were kind of like back and forth, and rewind just a little bit at about the 3 mile mark. We had just passed the 3 mile marker, and he kept looking at his watch. He kept looking to see what his time was. And I could tell that he was starting, his gait changed a little bit, and he kept looking at his watch. So he was racing against his watch. I try not to look at my watch.
So he picked it up at the 3 mile mark.
Yeah, but he didn't know exactly where 3 miles was.
Yeah.
He was wondering if his watch was off, I think, because he said, have we hit 3 miles yet? And I said to him, oh, no, man, we got a ways till 3 miles, when we had already passed the 3 mile mark. And so he was racing against his watch instead of the actual race. Yeah. And he was constantly checking his watch. And so, back and forth.
Well, that explains why I kind of drifted back at that point, because he picked it up and you just hung with him.
Yeah.
And I just stayed steady where I was.
Yep. Ryan just kind of locked into his pace and just kind of stayed there.
I was holding on for dear life at that point.
Yeah. I mean, both of us were really. But then you were like kind of back and forth, and I felt his pace kind of slow down a little bit, but I was still in front of him. And then he kind of got shoulder to shoulder with me, and his breathing got quite a bit heavier. I could tell he was hurting. And then Ryan just ever so gracefully just kind of glides right past both of us.
Well, I had around that 3.25 mile mark when we turned on the drag there. That was my time to start kicking it in.
Yeah.
So I sped up a little bit there, and at like 3.5 miles, you were still ahead of me.
Yeah.
Because I shouted to you, like, half a mile left, hold on.
Hold him. Yeah, that's what you said. Hold him.
Because I could see that kid wanted to run faster, and
I'm
like, just hang on, Nate. He's gonna burn out.
Yeah.
He's going hard.
Yep.
And this kid was already starting to like dry heave.
Yeah. He was hurting.
Nothing against him. He didn't run the race that well towards the end.
Yeah. So after the race, we were talking about it, and like that was a great like team dynamic, because I was like wearing him out. Then Ryan kind of just
Well, to finish that, I ran past you guys shortly after that 3.5 mile mark.
Yep.
And then that kid tried to catch me very shortly. I mean, he tried one last little spurt and almost threw up. I could hear him heaving behind me.
Yeah.
And gagging. And then I was gone from him, and you passed him at that point.
Yep. At the turn, like he never really got, when he was ahead of me and he was trying to race you, he never got more than 15, 20 yards in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna catch this guy.
And that like it just
he
lost it. Man.
He made the turn into the home stretch, dude, like 200 yards at most from the finish line. goes off on the sidewalk and ditches his breakfast. And I'm like, well, I mean, fair is fair. It's a race is a race. So here we go. So past him, and then Ryan and I were able to take home second and third place on that race.
Yeah, that's. I mean, so sad because he was in second the whole time, man.
At the end of the day, he's probably a way better runner than both of us.
Probably.
We just ran a smarter race.
We ran a smarter race, and like you were about to say, we ran it as a team.
Yeah.
Not really intentionally,
but
just
the way it worked
knowing
out.
that we had each other's best
interest
in mind. Yeah, we looked out for each other, and
yeah,
we were there for each other to motivate each other. That's a big thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid's like one dude competing against two.
Yeah, no, and Ryan and I had our suffer up shirts on too, so it was like we got the team aspect going on. And Ryan yells at me and says, "Hold him, Nate, hold him." I'm like, oh, okay, all right, here we go. Let's buckle up. And then Ryan take it like that. I mean, that's still a team win, and especially get on the podium with second and third place on a race. That's pretty exciting stuff.
Yep.
So
probably the first time and last time for a little while that might happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna try and get faster.
You just never know.
You never know. It really depends on who comes out for the race.
Yeah, it's true.
Because what you said last year, if you look back at last year's results, we would have been first and second.
Yeah. But then the year before that, though, we would have been like fourth and fifth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it just depends who shows up. You just never know.
Yeah.
And one of those guys might have had a bad day too.
That's true.
You know?
I mean, just show up every time you go to race, show up ready to race and give it your all.
Yeah. So super, that was the big takeaway on that one, was just the team aspect of it.
Yeah. And then after we finished, we hung out for a few minutes and got some water, and then we went back for our last teammate who was still running the race.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so my dad that was running, 56 years old. He's the owner and maker of Beuschel knives. You can check him out on Instagram. He makes custom knives and will make whatever you want. But he decided to run the race with us, and we crossed the finish line. We got 3 different medals from 3 different races.
None of which we actually did.
Yeah, none of those. Like, they don't have a leftover 4-mile medal. They just give you the leftovers.
Leftover medals from other races.
Yeah,
so I got a half marathon medal and a couple 5K medals. I think. I don't know. I sent a picture to my wife, and she's like, "You ran all that?"
I actually had an idea with those. I think it would be fun to do, like, save those leftover medals like that, and then do a kids race at the track.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of fun.
I gave 2 of mine to my 2 kids, my 2 daughters. My little baby boy, he doesn't get a medal.
Yeah.
And then my 3rd medal was a bottle opener, so I cut the lanyard off and just threw it in the drawer as a bottle opener.
Oh, perfect. There you go. That's
trying
awesome.
to make good use of it.
That's fair.
And my kids were like, "Oh man, we get a medal," and I was like, "Hold on, y'all got to earn this too. Give me 10 push-ups."
Oh, perfect. Yeah, make them work for it.
They earn their medal.
I love it. But yeah, so we crossed the finish line, grabbed a quick bottle of water, and ran kind of like a nice cool down jog.
Yeah.
Ran back to.
It's the first time I've done a cool down jog in a long time.
I know, we should probably do that more often.
Yeah.
So we ran back and caught my dad, and he ran probably like the last mile with him or so, about 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah, we're right about that turn.
Yeah. And kind of jogged it in with him, and it was really, really cool to see him. He's never done an official race before.
That was awesome. I expect to see your dad back there walking.
Nope.
And we saw him, and he's still jogging away.
He's still jogging away. He said the only time that he never stopped.
Never stopped moving.
Nope. He slowed down at the aid station to grab a water and kind of walked through the turn.
Yep.
And then had the water in his hand, swigged the water, and then picked up and jogged again.
He walked to take his shirt off for a second. But, I mean, that's just crazy. That's better than most people would do.
Yeah, 56 years old, never ran a race, hasn't been running.
Yeah.
He plays soccer and rides his bike, and that's what he does for physical activity, and ran the entire race.
That just goes to show that any exercise is better than no exercise.
Yep.
I mean, he's out there playing soccer, riding a bike. You know, he's not a runner per se, but the guy can get out there and run because he's healthy and in good shape. And that's really the whole point of us running in the first place, is to stay healthy. I mean, we run because we enjoy it, and you know, we want to be fast or whatever it is, but the end goal is to be healthy and be able to do this kind of stuff when we're older too.
Yeah.
I don't want to be some broken old man who can't move around his house without a walker.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's really good.
Props to your dad.
Super proud of him. He was even happy. And then when we got home, he was like, "I think I might sign up for a 5K back home."
Heck yeah.
I'm like, "Do it, Dad. That'd be awesome." So he's looking at possibly doing another race, and he's never raced before, and he's like, I was kind of surprised myself. I'm like, see,
Yeah.
just goes to show. So, and don't let age stop you from doing something that, you might surprise yourself. Just sign up for one and go do it.
Yeah. It's not all about time. It's about just doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't out there trying to set a PR for himself.
Nope.
I mean, at his rate, anything was a PR.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do them often. But if he goes and runs another thing, it's not about the time. It's like, hey, I can finish this one without walking at all, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just improvement in any way.
Yeah.
Is awesome.
Yeah. So really, really cool success story there. So transitioning out of that, so really good time left over 4 mile. And so sign up for local 5K, guys. Go do something fun. Get out there and encourage somebody else to go do it with you. You just never know what you may learn from a race.
Yeah. Set your goals. Doesn't have to be time-based.
Yep.
It can just be just to do it.
That's it. What announcements do we have?
Announcements.
We have the Lou coming up.
Got the Lou workout. We're looking at planning an event.
Yes.
At the end of this year.
Yep. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I do actually, because I would love to get feedback from some of our listeners here on what they would want.
Yeah.
So we've batted around the idea of doing a trail run.
Yep.
Probably of a decent distance, not like a 5K.
No.
Doing something more than that for sure. But we talked about doing a trail run. We talked about doing a ruck. I don't know. We've talked about a few things, so
Yeah.
I'd love to get feedback from our listeners. Comment on, maybe we can make a Facebook post or something about this too, or you can clip this. You can work your editing magic and clip this and make a post. But I'd love to hear from our listeners in the comments or messages and just see what you guys want to do, see what you guys would be willing to come out and do. We want this. The reason we don't want to do a 5K is because we don't necessarily want it to be that easy. We want this to be something hard, something that you're going to suffer in a little bit.
Yeah.
Something that's going to challenge you.
Yeah.
And make you grow.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. We've also kind of toyed around the idea of doing like Sunday night track stuff, getting the families out and doing Sunday night track time. So we got some things that we're kind of looking at doing here, hopefully soon. So we'll keep you guys up to speed on that. We also, a preemptive announcement, on Memorial Day, we'll be launching a giveaway that we'll be doing with Beuschel knives. We'll have pictures of the knife that we're going to be giving away, and the rules and all that will be opened up on Memorial Day. At the Lou workout will be the start of that. So we'll be under the Soft Socks tent with our sponsor with Soft Socks. So we'll be there at the event over in Niceville, so you guys can come out, see us, do a cool workout, and be able to just kind of meet us and hopefully be able to network with you guys. So we've got that coming up, and we're also kind of nailing down our race schedule coming up here too for the next fall and springtime. So that's exciting times. We want to do all the races, but we obviously can't. We're like, let's do this one. No, we probably shouldn't. So,
and then we start looking at them and go, hey, the one that we want to do that month is like a week away from the one that we want to do this month. Maybe we shouldn't do that.
Yeah. So we got some fun stuff coming up. So also, we've gotten some feedback too from you guys. I had a fellow reach out to me and mentioned that he was just really appreciative of a couple of our episodes, and he was the one with Emily. He mentioned my wife and I really needed that. So sounds like they had maybe gone through something similar with miscarriage and all that. So he said that it was very encouraging to him, and so that was really good to hear. Also hearing some success stories of guys getting out there and getting after it and running again, and just trying to challenge themselves physically and mentally and spiritually as well, upholding our 3 pillars. So we love hearing the feedback from you guys, so please keep sharing that with us. You can reach us with our link tree in the description. You guys can find us there, shoot us an email, or hit us on Instagram and shoot us a message there as well. So please continue to network with us, because we like to hear those success stories. Gives us a little bit of a motivation.
Absolutely. And check out our sponsors, Soft Socks.
Yes.
Their link is in our link tree as well. But if you go to their website, use the code SUFFER10, get 10% off your order. They make some sweet toe socks that are just awesome. They help with a lot of different things, like plantar fasciitis and hot spots, blisters, those kinds of things. So give them a shot. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
No.
I certainly have not been. I think they're worth the money, and they're good quality socks that last for a long time too. I wear mine every day, and working them, running them, everything. So
I haven't worn a hole in them yet.
Nope.
So that's a win.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks so much, guys, for listening in on this mini episode on a Thursday. Just to give you guys quick updates and announcements, race reviews, stuff like that. So just a little short excerpt while you guys are listening, whether on you driving to work or out on a run. And thank you so much for supporting the channel here at Suffer Up, where our mission is to encourage and lead others to suffer with a purpose, helping other people level up in life with an emphasis on spiritual, mental, and physical well-being. This is Nate and Ryan on the Suffer Up podcast.
Love you guys.